My God. Purple and gold skies, boys and girls. We in the 8th spot. You already know how turned up I feel. Let me calm down. Let me get it together. But welcome back, boys and girls, to Lakerland. I'm your host, moderator 7. Mitchell, man, shout out to Lakers Nation. Big up to the whole NBA community as a whole. We got an unbelievable podcast episode this afternoon. Joining us, I got my special guest from Sportstown. I got my brother JJ Peters joining us today. JJ, what's happening, fam?
Not much. It's a Saturday. Happy to come on. Thanks again for
Yeah.
having me on, 7. Can't wait to get started.
Yeah, man. Thank you for coming back and joining me. We are coming down the pipeline of my Lakers regular season. We got one more game left, but it's so many storylines and narratives to kind of talk about. So I had to bring you on before the season had ended. Shout out to the Lakerland staff, BA, Hank, Cole. Some of those guys are out on load management. I will have some of the team joining me before the podcast is over this afternoon. Make sure you guys smash that like button if you guys are on YouTube checking out the live stream, and subscribe if you're new to the platform. Also, just a brief reminder for free VIP access to all of our Laker watch parties. Come join our playback room at playback.tv/Lakerland. We give you free VIP access to all of our Laker game watch parties. We're going to be doing it again tomorrow night with the last game of the season versus the New Orleans Pelicans. So make sure y'all come and kick it with the fellas on playback. Shout out to my guy Bit in the building. Bit, I see you, homie. Happy Saturday to you. But like I said, man, episode 7 here at Lakerland, we have an unbelievable show to get into, man. Let's get things started. We're going to start things off slow, kind of recap JJ last night. Now, LeBron James scored 37 points. JJAD finished the night with 36 points as the Lakers knocked off the Memphis Grizzlies 123-120. They climbed up to the 8th seed in the Western Conference. Now, tomorrow, the Lakers, JJ, face the New Orleans Pelicans. If the Pelicans win, they will avoid the play-in and secure the 6th seed. If the Lakers win, they secure the 8th seed. So, JJ, let me ask you, do the Lakers end the season tomorrow with a W? Simple and plain.
I'm thinking they will. I don't necessarily trust the Pelicans a whole lot. The Pelicans have been kind of an odd team this year.
Yep.
But I do think the Lakers will win on Saturday night, especially coming off a win, or not Saturday night, Sunday night, especially coming off a win from Friday night. I don't know if I can see the Pelicans winning that. I think I got the Lakers now and on Sunday night.
Did you get a chance to watch any of the game last night between the Grizzlies? Because it was a comeback effort. Like, Memphis had their number at first. I don't know how, but, Memphis was in the lead for a nice duration of the game. And, LeBron James found a way in the second half to, help rally the troops. Did you see any of the game from last night? And what was your take from the game last night?
I did not get to watch the game last night. I did get to watch the highlights this morning. And, so the one takeaway that I get from this game between the Lakers and Grizzlies, the Grizzlies year has been kind of a downer because of all the injuries, but they've been a decent team for what they pretty much had to deal with. But at the end of the day, the Lakers were just the better team. LeBron came up top, and I don't know. The Grizzlies they're a better team than their record shows, but
yeah,
at the end of the day, the Lakers are just the better team. They're more healthy. It's kind of a shame to see what the Grizzlies did this year because of, Ja Morant goes out, Steven Adams goes out. They've had so many injuries, but it's just at the end of the day, the Lakers are the better team. That's where it starts, or that's where it ends.
Yesterday alone, I think Memphis had 13 people that was out of the lineup. Like, availability or lack of availability has definitely been the biggest issue with Memphis. Regardless, coming into the season, you got Ja Morant on a 25-game suspension. He in Memphis struggle. He comes back, immediately gives them a little bit of momentum, and then he goes out for the remainder of the season. Then you got a lot of the other supporting cast, coming up short. But I knew going into these last 2 games of the season for the Lakers, both Memphis and New Orleans were going to try to play spoiler. So much so when we talk about the Pelicans, that yesterday it was announced that Brandon Ingram, who has been out for 10 games, JJ, my goodness, this is ridiculous. He has opted to come play the last game versus his former team, the Los Angeles Lakers. The New Orleans Pelicans are already guaranteed a spot in the play, and there's no real need for BI to have to come back early off of this injury, but other than to stick it to the Lakers. If the Lakers beat the Pelicans tomorrow, they are guaranteed the eighth seed. The last time the Pelicans saw a locked in LeBron James was the IST semifinals. If you guys remember, LeBron James had 30 points on 100% true shooting percentage. He also had 5 rebounds, 8 assists, and 0 turnovers. He was a plus 36 in 23 minutes. So LeBron gave the Pelicans all they wanted when it counted the most. So I'm hoping tomorrow, LeBron and the crew gets a W. What would you grade, JJ, the Los Angeles Lakers overall this season? What report card grade would you give them?
Well, I think at the end of the day, they do make the playoffs, and I think they win the play-in game. Okay. But I'm going to say right now, the grade I would give the Lakers, probably, they had a good ending to the season. I would probably give them a B- to a C, just because there was a lot of expectations, didn't really do well this year. The West altogether is just, all of it is just, I don't know. The West is kind of weird this year because there's so many good teams, but yet there's not a dominant team like there is in the East where you have with Boston. Yep. But I would probably give them more of a B- to a C.
Okay.
But they had a good ending to the season in which they're going to end up making the playoffs. So I would probably grade anywhere between a B- and a C.
This season going towards the end of the year has just been so crazy because right now going into the last game, you have 3 teams at the top in the Western Conference, all with identical records. So, and then you have the basically the whole play-in tournament is covered with Pacific Division teams, and everybody is so close. So even down to this last game of the year, it's so significant for a lot of teams. Like, you gotta love what's going on in the Western Conference of the NBA. Darvin Ham. Does Darvin Ham need to get the win tomorrow to save his job? Or do you think he's already secure for at least this year?
I think he's secure for this year just because last year was his first year and he made the conference finals as like a 7 seed, I think it was last year.
Yeah.
And I understand every year for the Lakers is championship or bust or title contention or bust. But I feel like he did enough this year to get at least one more season. But I think he should be safe, honestly. I mean, again, it's title or bust for the Lakers, but he just made the conference finals last year. I don't know why you would get rid of him after this year. I mean, who would they replace him with? That's my question.
I mean, when we talk about Darvin, I'm not sold on him. I'm gonna be extremely honest. As far as his decision making, as far as his X's and O's, I think it's just so much room for improvement. And when you have the last days of LeBron James, I just don't feel like it's enough time to allow this guy to gel into whatever coach we expect him to be. LeBron is not on that type of time. So I just don't feel like he's a right fit for this coach. But I do agree with you overall. I think he pretty much is secure and safe, at least for this year. But if they lose tomorrow, JJ, to the New Orleans Pelicans, that would then mean that they would definitely or possibly could have to play 2 road games just to get into the playoffs. They might fall all the way down to 10th, if I'm not mistaken, or they could be locked in at 9th. But I just think that tomorrow is a very important game. They have to handle their business. AD, Anthony Davis versus his former team is 10-3 overall versus the Pelicans. So I expect LA to come out tomorrow and show effort a little bit more earlier than they did last night, because last night scared me a little bit. I thought Memphis had a chance.
Yeah. And the one thing about the Lakers season this year is they really haven't dealt with a lot of injuries, but at the end of the day, the shooting has just not been there for the Lakers. I think that was kind of their Achilles heel all season. And
both of them, to me, both of them, because if you go back, key guys that you had expectations for going into the offseason, like Vando, these guys were hurt since the first game of the year. The Lakers have dealt with not a bunch of guys being injured, but a couple of guys being injured for a substantial amount of time. There's no there's been no opportunity to really build any chemistry with this unit, to be honest with you. Like, I remember the beginning of the year, there was time that Darvin Ham was going into games with like an 8-man rotation because guys was hurt. And, it's always been Vando, and then we just getting Gabe Vincent back. Now Christian Woods, he is pretty much done. But you brought up the fact of shooting and the non-efficiency that we've gotten. We was on the watch party last night with the game, and Cole and Hank and I were talking about, D'Lo and Austin Reeves, how they got benched. I've never seen a starting backcourt get benched, before. And, those guys did not shoot well at the beginning of the year. And I don't know, man. It's just crazy to me to think that we are in this position of do or die. The Lakers shouldn't even be here. So many games that we should have won early in the year that we just let slip by, and it came back to bite us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think the thing about the Lakers this year too is, again, the shooting hasn't been great. You talked about the injuries. Injuries, though, have been a huge thing this year. The last 2 years, I feel like injuries all over the league have been bad. But I mean, if they don't win, they're definitely going to have to look into the offseason. And I understand their season's not over yet, but they would definitely go into the offseason looking for shooting. And I don't know, again, how they would acquire that, because I think the cap is all. And of course, you have to deal with LeBron. He's possibly a free agent. I think
That's
he
right.
stays.
That's right.
But you really have to look into the offseason and see what you want to rock with, because there's a lot of question marks surrounding this team going into the offseason.
Absolutely right. This is the Lakerland Podcast, boys and girls, episode 7. We are in the building. JJ Peters joining us this afternoon. Shout out again to Lakers Nation. We're talking about the Los Angeles Lakers last game tomorrow versus the New Orleans Pelicans. The Lakers looking to secure the 8th seed in the Western Conference. Let's talk hypotheticals real quick, JJ, before we get into our next topic, sticking with the Lakers and the Pelicans. Let's say hypothetically the Lakers get the win tomorrow, lock up the 8th seed, and they may have to match up versus the Phoenix Suns, Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, Bradley Beal. That could possibly more than likely be that 7-8 matchup. How do you fare the Lakers playing at Phoenix in that type of playing scenario? KD versus LeBron when it counts the most. What do you think about that?
It's definitely going to be entertaining, because before the season, I didn't predict Phoenix or the Lakers to be in this position at 7-8. But if I look at the Suns team, this team has been kind of a disappointment. I mean, you get Bradley Beal, you already have Devin Booker, you have Kevin Durant for half a season, and yet they're the 7th seed. That's a little disappointing, I think. I think that they're a huge disappointment, actually. But right up between the Lakers and Suns, I do think the Lakers match up well with Phoenix, surprisingly. And I wouldn't be surprised if we saw an upset there. And then that would mean they would be the 7th seed. They would take on either Oklahoma City, Denver, or Minnesota. I think if they beat the Suns, there's a great chance of them either beating OKC or Minnesota. Now, if they play Denver, there's a lot of questions on that. But I think they have a great chance of beating Phoenix and then also beating OKC and Minnesota, because I could see them getting beat early on just because of the young team. But I think the Lakers actually match up pretty well with Phoenix, surprisingly.
When you look at the regular season series between Los Angeles versus Phoenix, not only have Phoenix, the Lakers have the series season lead, I believe, at this point over Phoenix. They've played extremely well. LeBron has played well versus KD. They've had some very good games. Yeah, I think the Lakers might be up 2-1.
Okay.
In this season, sorry, or it could be 3-1. I'm not quite sure, but we've seen KD and LeBron go at it a couple times, I think, this season. So, to have it mean something, really, we haven't had that in a long time. So just for the nostalgia purpose, I definitely like that. You brought up that possible 2-7 scenario if the Lakers was to knock off the Phoenix Suns in Phoenix, because basically that's how it would happen, boys and girls. If the Lakers were to beat the Pelicans, lock in at the 8th seed, and hypothetically having to play Phoenix, if they beat Phoenix, then the Lakers will move up to the 7th seed, and then they would have to play the 2nd seed in the first round. Right now, Minnesota, OKC, and Denver are all tied record-wise in the standings for the top 3 teams. But right now, OKC has the ultimate tiebreaker. then it's Minnesota, then it's Denver. So it's a real weird scenario for this last game. You brought up the Denver Nuggets, JJ, and the Los Angeles Lakers in a potential first round matchup. And I know how you identified that there could be some issues there. We here on Lakerland have been having this conversation all week. Pretty interesting debate. Shout out again to Cole, BA, and Hank. Me, myself, personally, JJ, prefer to have Denver earlier in the playoffs than having to face them late in the playoffs when they're able to gain more chemistry, more momentum. You know, the game slows down in the playoffs, half court game. I'd rather face those guys early than in the Western Conference Finals again with a chance for LeBron to be gassed out like same thing that happened last year. From the Lakers standpoint, in your opinion, where should they be wanting to face Denver, the beginning or the end of the playoffs?
I think it would be more toward the end, but you do mention LeBron is older and he's going to be a little more tired. But I just think that they would rather face OKC or Minnesota early on, and then they'd probably be in position to take on Denver either the second or third round, I think is how that works. But because Denver has had their way with the Lakers this year, I believe they're up 2-1 on that series as well, or 3-1, I can't remember exactly. But I would think that the Lakers would rather face them later in the playoffs than early on because there's more of a potential a potential losing to them early on. And then you also have that momentum going into the later part of the postseason.
Right. No, you're right. My only concern with that is, like you said, I don't really fear OKC or Minnesota, but seeing what the Lakers are even have to go through now in this last handful of games, and then you have a play-in scenario, then you're going to have to go against those young guys. The OKC and Minnesota, they some young guys now. You understand what I'm saying? This is not, they're going to be running LeBron around the court, 7-game series. You know, I think it leads more to a recipe of disaster later on in the playoffs if these other guys for the Lakers, the supporting cast, doesn't step up. We need D'Lo to be a little bit more consistent. You know, you got Anthony Davis being out for eye injuries and headaches and all other type of time. And Rui is playing pretty well. We're hoping that Austin Reeves get more consistent, but there's just so many little things that the Lakers need to work on, but we don't have that much time. But y'all let us know in the comment section, Lakerland, when it comes to the Los Angeles Lakers hypothetically facing the Denver Nuggets, should they be facing the Nuggets at the beginning or the end of the playoffs? Y'all let us know in the chat. About to get into our next segment here on the Lakerland podcast. This is our TikTok segment, the first TikTok segment of the podcast. JJ, who was more important to this second half season run for the Los Angeles Lakers? D'Angelo Russell, LeBron James, or Anthony Davis?
Well, when he was on the court, I'm going to say Anthony Davis. I mean, he's a defensive player of the year candidate. He's definitely, of course, LeBron is still the best player on that team. D'Angelo Russell's been pretty solid for the most part, but I would say Anthony Davis. I mean, the Lakers brought him in a few years ago for the exact reason when he's healthy. He's a good defender. He's well in the paint. He's a center, not a power forward, as much as people want to say. But I think Anthony Davis has been the most important for this second half run for the Lakers.
Because, you know, the Lakers were playing well at the beginning of the season, and then they won the IST tournament. And then after the tournament, like, they just fell off the face of the earth. And then, you know, you have guys change the rotation in the lineup starting to get switched up. Then you had D'Angelo Russell's name in trade talks and all types of stuff was happening before the trade deadline. And AD, it's just like, man, sometimes he can't win for losing, especially with me, because you have to credit AD somewhat for his availability. He seemed to have been out on the basketball court this year more than what we've seen in the past. And when he's been in the game, he has definitely stood up to the challenge. But man, the big moments this season, AD has not always been there, man. Like we saw at the beginning of the year, him facing Nikola Jokic versus the Denver Nuggets. You know, he start off 15 points hot in the first quarter, then go scoreless for an entire second half. We saw AD do that 2 times this season. And then, like I said, being out with a headache or eye injury, a lot of little things, man. We need AD to consistently be that guy. But I agree. Without the production that he did provide the Lakers this year, we wouldn't at least be in this position. And kind of similar goes the same for D'Angelo Russell in my eyes. The play that D'Angelo Russell leveled up to once his name was in trade talks really helped elevate, the Lakers into the winning streaks and things that they had. So D'Lo was very, very pivotal in that late success that the Lakers pulled off after they struggled in the second half of the year. But like you said, man, GOAT James, it still always evolves around LeBron at the end of the day, whether the things that you see or the things that you don't see. So it's tough. I could see how people could say AD has been the most valuable for the Lakers in this second part of their run. I'm a say I'll say AD. I'll say AD. I think his impact on both ends of the court really means something and has held a lot of weight.
Well, with Anthony
Hank
Davis,
in the
I mean, you
building.
get the good and the bad at the same time. So
that's a fact. That's a fact. Part of the process. What's up, Hank? I think you might be muted, bro. If you can hear me or if you can't.
Can you hear me now?
Now we got you. We got Big Hank in the building. So, Hank, we just chopping it up, bro. Talking about who was more important for this second part of the run for the Lakers. Remember, after the IST, they struggled, but then they found a way to turn the corner, and now we're here. Who's been the most important person for that turnaround?
It's either AD or D'Lo.
Which one would you pick the most out of those two?
I know we always go with the consensus of AD, but D'Lo's been playing pretty well. Without him, I think this run wouldn't be as good as this second half of the season. The Lakers actually done really, really well after the All-Star break. So I think D'Lo has been a big part of it.
Even though last night we literally witnessed LeBron James conduct that comeback because Memphis had the Lakers at first. We watched this thing in real time. I predicted, I said, watch LeBron make the comeback. Cole called me out. He left the chat, and the rest was history. So we giving LeBron no credit for holding it down at 39 years old, 21.
Well, it might be unfair, but that's what LeBron do. So yeah, D'Lo, you want to it's been a tough year, kind of, with the trade rumors and all those things, and I think he stepped up for this second half to really help this team, at least stay into this playoff play-in spot in the tough Western Conference.
I agree. Going into the playoffs, fellas, Hank, I'll start off with you. Let's talk about strengths and weaknesses for the Los Angeles Lakers. What do you see as the biggest strength and the biggest weakness for this Lakers team going into this playoff run?
Well, I always feel that their strength is going to be on the defensive side, locking in there. The weakness is obviously always going to be the 3-point shooting, and that's why the defensive presence has got to be very important because they're not going to be able to outshoot most nights like a Golden State or even a Sacramento. So they have to lock in defensively and just execute as much as possible on those deep tray balls. But defensive is the most important.
Yeah. I think the biggest strength that the Lakers have this season has to be experience. At the end of the day, the experience that LeBron and AD has in moments, it supersedes the shooting, it supersedes the defense, it supersedes the coaching, because all those elements that the Lakers have in their bag has been inconsistent. The only thing that is guaranteed is that LeBron and AD has been in these moments and they understand these moments. They're not a super young ball club, but they don't have a lot of guys that's really, championship in that atmosphere before. So it is going to be kind of interesting, but I do think one of the strengths that the Lakers have is the experience of LeBron James. The weakness, bro, is just it's a lot. We can't have a shootout with anybody. We can't go back and forth with scoring. Our coach isn't creative or witty enough to outcoach a good coach in a series. I don't believe. Like it's like we're gonna need like a superhuman effort from LeBron James or Anthony Davis. So I feel like our weakness is that we don't really have no identity going into the playoffs.
Well, I think the Lakers, if you start with the good, the strengths of the Lakers right now, of course, is defense. Experience is definitely a big one. Also down low, outside of really the Nuggets, there's no one that can really defend Anthony Davis unless Karl Anthony Towns comes back, which I think he will. He's in the process of doing so. But, I mean, not a lot of people can stop Anthony Davis in the post. When he's healthy, it's going to be hard to stop Anthony Davis. That's another strength. Of course, the weaknesses, though, is always going to be the offense, the shooting, and the creativity on offense as well.
Word. BA in the building. BA, what's up, brother?
Hey, salute, fellas. Welcome to Lakerland. Let's get it.
Yeah, you already know, man. BA in the building. Bit, I see you, my G. Bit, I'm going to bring you up in a second. BA, let me get your thoughts, family, on the Lakers' strengths, biggest strength and biggest weakness going into this playoff run.
I would say as far as strength, I think it's the size. I think the size will affect a lot of teams defensively. The weakness, getting straight to the point, the weak is who's going to be alpha? Is it going to be the coach or is it going to be LeBron James? I feel like right now we spoke about this briefly when it comes to LBJ and Darvin Ham. Players, I see it's kind of like split. You got some players rocking with Darvin Ham, like, yeah, let's go, coach. But then you got other ones that like, okay, I'm just gonna rock with one of the greatest to ever do it in LeBron James. And I think that can be an issue going down the stretch at this beginning. And hopefully it doesn't affect them during the play-in, because that's where you definitely need to win to make it.
I agree. All right, y'all. Let's get into our next segment here on the Lakerland podcast, episode number 7. Do remember, for all exclusive VIP access to our Laker watch parties, come on over to our playback room at playback.tv/Lakerland. We in the building tomorrow. We got the final game of the regular season for the Lakers if they lock in versus the New Orleans Pelicans, looking to lock in for that 8th seed spot. So for all Laker land game watch parties, come on over to playback.tv/Lakerland. Free access for our VIP sessions. About to get into another topic here on Lakerland. Fellas, let's build the perfect Lakers lineup going into the playoffs by position: point guard, shooting guard, small forward, power forward, center. If you are the coach, what lineup are you going with into this playoff? Now, mind you, right now we got Rui, Reeves, LeBron, and AD as the current lineup. This is also the lineup that is going to be locked in tomorrow versus New Orleans. Those guys are 16-3, if I'm not mistaken. No, 16-6 together on the year. That is basically almost a 61 win pace if they were playing together for the entire year. But what are your guys' thoughts on who's going to be the best starting 5 going into the playoffs? BA, I'll start with you by position.
Man, jeez. I would have AD. Dang, I know AD. They say he a 4, but he really a 5 to me. But he just, I don't know. I don't know why people say that. But I have AD at the 5. I have at the 1. I'm gonna have D'Lo at the 1. Of course, LeBron. I'm trying to figure out, do I want to have LeBron at the 3 or do I want to have him at the 4? You have to come back to me. This is difficult.
Okay.
This is difficult.
All right, Hank. Start off, Hank. Give me your starting 5 going into the playoffs. What should be the starting 5 lineup?
That lineup you just said before, that does sound good.
Who they have
but-
right now? Reeves,
yeah,
Russell, LeBron, Rui,
yeah,
and Anthony Davis.
I do like that, but I'm gonna go off my first thought. I'm gonna go with D'Lo, Reeves, Bron, AD, and Jackson.
Jackson, huh? Okay. Jackson? Okay.
D'Lo. Who was your shooting guard?
Reeves.
Reeves, LeBron, AD,
And Jackson Hayes.
and Jackson Hayes.
That's
I
a-
I I like that. I like that because what you did to I like what you sacrifice at the 5 to maximize the 4 and the 3, especially the 4. You put Jackson Hayes at the 5. He has shown me he might not be no all-star center. He might not be a great center, nothing like that at this point, but he's not no pound cake. He's shown me that he can play some ball. Just give him some time, give him some playing minutes, throw him in there with the Wolves. He's only going to get better. So you allow AD to go to his true position at the 4. I like that. My only thing that I probably disagree with you is the Austin Reeves starting at this point. I feel like, man, him playing in the summer last year really blew things. He's played a little bit better later in the season, but he, to me, is more productive coming off of the bench, going into these playoffs. That second unit, I think he could lead the second unit. So I would actually go big. And I know this is not his true position at all, and it might be weird, but I would go Rui at the 2, D'Lo at the 1, LeBron at the 3, AD at the 4, and Jackson Hayes at the 5. I would start off big. Because you're going up against Minnesota, OKC, or Denver. So I'll take my chances with that.
Somebody call the bosses, man. Somebody call the bosses.
I'm tweaking.
Rui at the 2.
I know I'm pushing it. I'm pushing the narrative. I'm definitely pushing the narrative and the needle. And like I said, the starting lineup that the Lakers have right now, a 61 win pace is very impressive. But you have to also put a lot of hope and faith in Darvin Ham as well. And nah, I ain't jacking that. What about you, JJ? What is the best 5, the perfect starting 5 for the
Before the
Lakers
season? I thought Gabe Vincent would have a better year, but I think I would still put him on the bench. I would have to put Anthony Davis at the 5 and LeBron at the 4. I think you have Russell at the 1, Reeves at the 2, Rui Hachimura at the 3. I think it's got to have to be that. I think you have to put Davis at the 5. I know they're playing a lot of big guys now in this. Like I said, you're going to have to go against either Minnesota or OKC. They have those big guys, but I think you have to stick with Davis at the 5 and putting LeBron at the 4 and the rest. Of course, Austin Reeves, or be D'Angelo Russell at the 1, Reeves at the 2, Hachimura at the 3. Yeah, you're going to have to go with LeBron at the 4 and Davis at the 5.
Yeah, I had troubles with that. That's why I was like, man, I think they're at their best with LeBron at the 4, being able to create that space for AD to do whatever he needs to do inside. So I think that's a good look too. I actually like that lineup, probably the best up here so far.
So you like Anthony Davis, and you think Anthony Davis is a true center? That's what you said?
Yeah, I think he's more of a center than a power forward, honestly.
Really?
I agree. Maybe young, like 22, 21-year-old. That was the power forward. He's a center now, bro. He's a center.
Yeah, back in his Pelicans days, yeah, he was definitely a power forward, but I think he's more of a center now.
Let me see if I can get Bit squeezed in on here. Bit, give me a second because I'm working out some things. I'm trying to let me add an item. Let me see if I can add Bit on the screen. Give me a second, fellas.
Bit about to create these nasty narratives. That's what Bit about to do. Bit is about to create a nasty narrative.
Hold on. Bit, give me a second, bro. Let me create a correct layout, and I'll get you right
Big Shark
in here.
versus B.A. Bayless.
Give me 1 second.
LeBron James.
So we'll go back to that topic while I get this together. I'm going to bring up Bit and get his thoughts on that. But let me jump into the next topic while we are here in Lakerland, episode 7. I want to know, fellas, do y'all still believe in these current LA Laker players. Give me a scale number for 1 to 10 if you still believe in these players. I want to start off with Taurean Prince. Hank, do you still believe in Taurean Prince?
One. What's the number scale?
On a scale of 1 to 10. Oh, you ain't even got to measure it that way. Do you still believe in Taurean Prince? It's simple yes or no for a dude like him.
I would say defensively, not offensively.
Okay. What about you, BA? Gabe
100%.
Vincent, BA. I got somebody different for you, BA.
Different.
Gabe Vincent. Do you believe in Gabe Vincent?
Bro, I want to say yes, but I haven't seen him play this year. I haven't really seen him play at all. So it's like I'm conflicted because I've seen what he did his last 2 seasons in Miami, which is incredible at the highest levels. So I don't know if I'm getting that. I don't know, man. I'm on the fence, bro. I'm gonna say no. Because he ain't playing. He ain't been playing, bro.
His street clothes been 10 out of 10.
Yeah. Thanks. Thanks.
Disrespectful. JJ, LeBron James, do you still believe in LBJ?
I do. And if I got a 1 through 10 right now, I'd probably give him an 8 or a 9, just because I don't know which Laker team is going to show up. Because I'm pretty confident I'm confident that they'll win tomorrow night, and I'm confident that they'll win the play-in game. But I don't know outside of that, even if they win the first round, which Lakers team is going to show up, and is he going to have any help outside of Anthony Davis? So I still believe.
Bit in the building. I thought I had him, and then I lost him just that fast.
Tell him to get his Wi-Fi up.
Shout out to the homie Bit.
For sure. Salute the Bit.
BA, come back to you again. Do you still believe in this current Lakers player, Christian Woods?
I give it on a scale from 1 to 10. I give him a 2.
Damn, no belief in Christian. Okay.
Yeah.
Hank, last but not least, do you still believe in this Laker player, D'Angelo Russell?
Yes. Got to think about it. Yes.
I was about to say you hesitated, so give me your thought process in this.
Because I'm thinking about last year in the beginning of the season. But he stepped up. Like I said earlier, he has stepped up, especially during them trade talks. I thought he was LeBron James, right? He was stepping up real big.
Yeah, he playing out of body.
Yeah, out of body, out of mind. So we get that throughout the whole playoffs, man. They're gonna be very dangerous if they got the three-headed monster playing at a great level.
Yep, that's a fact. We talked about JJ and I was talking earlier about, tomorrow's potential game. If the Lakers knocked off New Orleans tomorrow, they would be guaranteed the 8th seed. Last time the Pelicans saw locked in LeBron James was in the semifinals of the IST. BA and Hank, how do y'all see tomorrow's final game of the season playing out?
Man, I see the Lakers. I see the Lakers playing hard, but the Pelicans, if I'm not mistaken, they're pretty much solidified in there in what the 6th seed.
No, not at all. Because if they lose tomorrow and Phoenix wins, it's LA and Phoenix. New Orleans falls down.
Oh,
so New Orleans and Phoenix is still fighting for the 6th seed, I believe. Yeah.
All right. I think it's going to be, then I feel like it's going to be a super competitive game. And are they playing in New Orleans or are they playing in LA?
They're playing in New Orleans tomorrow. And Brandon Ingram is coming back after 10 games being out.
They've actually been playing pretty decent without BI. I might have to edge them. I think they might end up pulling it out in a close game on the road. I mean, at home.
You really think now? And Anthony Davis is 10-3 overall versus his former team. You really think that New Orleans got a chance to to put LeBron and AD in a very, very bad position the last game of the year?
Of course. Why not?
I don't think they built for that.
You don't
It's
think
not
that
that.
this is the benefit of this is going to be BI's first game back. So he might be rusty. He's been out 10 to 12 games, something like that. He
Yep.
might be a little rusty. But if say that he's not rusty and he does fit into what they're doing right now with Zion playing. By the way, salute to Zion. Salute to Zion, man. Look at him. He playing, man. He doing his thing. You
He in the
know.
building. He in the building.
So yeah, I think it's gonna be a close game. It can go either way, but I might have to edge the Pels. I just might have to edge the Pels.
Junior money sniper.
That's what they calling him. That's what they calling him. So, what do you think hypothetically, Hank, of a potential LeBron versus KD play-in matchup?
It's money. That's for the ages. NBA would love that. Adam Silver gonna be putting his hands together. Yes. You know, love that if they get in face each other. That's like him facing Steph in the first round. So the league would love that if they played each other. And I do think that it'll be a very competitive game because they both will be gunning for each other.
They've been going at it all year. You know, when they played each other, they had some good games. I think what LeBron gave 40. They had some real good games this year, KD versus LeBron, for the first time in a long time. What about you, BA? What's your thoughts on a potential LA Phoenix matchup in the first? In the first of the playing games.
Man, I'm gonna have my popcorn ready. That's box office. I know that is if we exclude the thought of the play-in and we actually look at it from the aspect of KD versus LeBron. A lot of people watch this game specifically because of the individual superstars. Of course, they rock the team, but we want to see KD and LeBron, and we want to see somebody take somebody out.
Mm-hmm.
It's all facts.
Can't forget Bradley Beal. He said he about to lock in.
Shout out to IT as well. Shout out to IT. He gonna be in the building.
They, to me, just don't have no chemistry yet. Still don't. And I don't know if they ever will. Like they're guys, their main three guys. Like I'm not really feeling like they got it together just yet.
You're right. They don't. They remind me of the same situation you just came from in Brooklyn. Oh no, you get a shot. No, you get a shot. Oh no, it's my turn. No, you get it. That's not how you win championships.
And the funny part about it, KD is in both of those equations, Brooklyn and Phoenix. Kevin Durant needs to start taking over the helm, like even vocally, letting it be known. Like, let's just not play this
leader,
game.
though. Say if he ain't no leader, he getting old. He getting old. He ain't no leader, man. He ain't gonna never do that, man. He gonna sit back and be like, yeah, man, I'm the easy money sniper. Let me hit a couple jump shots and let me not take no bad shots to keep my field goal percentage high. That's KD in a nutshell. That's him. Yep. He ain't no vocal leader, and he don't do that. He don't do that, man.
He writing bars on the bench.
Yeah, he's sitting there writing rhymes, talking about.
I think speaking of the Suns here, I think the Suns have probably been one of the most disappointing, maybe if the most disappointing teams this year. I mean, you have that good of a team, Durant, Booker, Beal, and you're going to make the 7 seed. Like, I thought they were going to make a top 4 seed. It's just, that's been one of the disappointing teams, probably the disappointing team this year in the NBA.
Frank Vogel.
Yeah.
Hey, it happens that way, man. When you have 3 superstars, and I don't know what it is about these 3-headed monsters, but when they don't get a chance to actually play with each other, like it gets all out of whack.
And the NBA keep doing it over and over and over again. All right, man. Before we get up out of here, I did want to chop it up with a couple minutes with my guy JJ Peters from Sports Town. JJ, I know you've been doing your thing, so I just wanted to get a little bit of backstory from you here on Lakerland before we got off. Just letting the people know a little bit about your platform, how you guys started, where you from and what you got going on with your brand. So when it comes to content creating, JJ, how long have you been content creating, and when did you start the Sports Town Network platform?
So it all started back for me. It started way back in 2020 when COVID hit. Right, I started a podcast for the first few months. I think it was originally called 7-Eleven Sports,
Okay.
where it was just 7 topics, 11 minutes, just real quick before I went to work. Right, just didn't want to too much, and of course the sports world was pretty much shut down. And then in October of 20, I started my first YouTube channel, renamed it Sports Town, and basically did the same content. I did more podcast related stuff back then. Now I'm more in just like creating videos and stuff like that. And then the next year I started my TikTok account. At first it blew up, but then it's kind of leveled out recently. But again, you can get I'm pretty much on all the social media sites. I'm on, Instagram, Twitter, or X. You can get me on TikTok. YouTube is big, of course. I try to release content every day: football, basketball, baseball, all that stuff. You can either find me on Sportstown or Sportstown Network. Been doing it for about 3 years, so it's a fun thing to do. And just look up Sportstown, and you can check me out there.
Now, what part of the map, JJ, for the people who are getting in tune with you, what part of the map are you from? Where are you located? Where do you reside at?
So I'm actually located in Cedar Rapids, Iowa.
Okay, in Iowa. Okay.
Yep, located in Iowa. I pretty much do everything in my apartment here where I'm currently at. It's kind of small, but
That's what we do.
Pretty much every
That's
day,
what we
so.
do. Absolutely. Have you always been into sports even before the whole content creation element? Have you always been a sports guy?
I have been, yeah. So my dad was actually a coach and a teacher. He was he was a high school coach. Pretty much when I was bored, I was big into football and basketball right away. Baseball, of course. In high school, I played pretty much all the sports. I did football, baseball, basketball. Yeah, pretty much I've just lived with sports. I mean, it's literally been my number one thing. I enjoy it. And it's pretty much been my whole entire life. So,
fellas, all 4 of us are content creators, right? Can y'all go back and remember to that one video that you made that made you feel like, oh, okay, I think I can do this, or this is the lane that I think I want to be in? Can you guys go back to that particular video and kind of recap how that played out? Was it the views on it? What was it about that particular content that made you feel like, okay, I think this is where I belong?
Man, so with me in the battle rap world, hip hop world, it was 2017. I believe it was 2017. It was Murder Mook versus Averb.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been doing recaps and I started in 2017. At the beginning of that year, I was only getting like 20 views, 30 views, 50 views. They started slightly going up through the months, but then I believe November of 2017 hits, and that that event happens. The Rare Breed event happens
On RBE. Yep.
RBE, and I recap the battle. Then I look up, and I'm not paying no mind. I'm just like, man, because I just love to talk about hip hop and all of that. So I'm just like, oh, it's just a hobby. Then I seen it went up to 7,000 views overnight, and I was like, oh my gosh, people had a whole bunch of comments and likes and all of that stuff, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, people are watching my content. So yeah, that's when it was for me.
And you wind up getting Mook on your platform.
Yeah, and that's crazy. That's crazy.
That's crazy, right?
Crazy. Yeah. Then we Dame Dash, Mook, all of them ended up coming to the platform. So that's you just put it in perspective for me. I didn't even think about that. Appreciate that.
Dope. That's dope. What about you, Hank? Was there a video or a reel or short or something that you did in the sports game that made you feel like, oh yeah, man, I'm about to start my sports games vision, and this is where I'm locking in with? Did you have one of them moments of clarity?
It's been a process for me. I'm probably the newest on the whole panel.
Okay.
But for me, I'm a creative, period. I like to write stories, all type of stuff. So for me, it's the process of creation that I really like the most.
Right.
Putting it together. I know even me with my editing kind of slow and sucky sometimes, but even that, the feeling of putting it out there and then getting some of the responses, especially if it does pretty well. And then, like I said, just the process, just creation I really love it. And of course, I love sports. So doing that with the creation, for me has been a win.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. And you've been doing your thing, man. So keep doing your shit, man. You definitely doing your
Thank you.
shit out here. I'm a big fan, and I'm glad we all locked in and getting shit some work done. What about you, JJ? Was there a shining moment or a video that you put out there and you got some feedback from that made you feel like, okay, I'm about to start this sports town thing? Like, what was that moment for you, or if there was one?
Yeah, so there's been a few, but there was one video where I think it was it's probably 2 years ago now. It was like February of 22, and I think it was like a Thursday night, and I was just trying to think of what kind of video to do, right? And I just thought of doing, I think it was actually about Lamar Jackson,
Okay.
and I uploaded a contract situation and just basically I think it took me maybe an hour, maybe 2 hours to do. But I upload this video to TikTok, actually. I uploaded to YouTube, Instagram, all that stuff, but I uploaded to TikTok first. I did all the stuff. Then I went to bed that night. I wake up around like 6, 7 a.m., right? Because I'm about to go to
And that
work.
thing blew up.
And then I found out that, there's like a bunch of views, a bunch of comments, and I'm like, wow, okay, maybe this might. That was probably the point where just got a bunch of views, and I'm like, there was a bunch of comments, and I was like, wow, okay, maybe I am decent at this, right? So
yeah, man, definitely doing your thing. Social media is a bitch, man. I'm telling you, it really will not just make us feel like we can do things, it gives us opportunities to actually prove it. There's so many outlets thanks to the internet, and social media now that you can, provide whatever type of skill set, talent that you think you bring to the table. And there's going to be a pocket of people that's going to appreciate it. You just got to find it. I think, for me, I've been creating content for years. And I've always felt like I've made good listening content, good creative content, a variety of different content, but reaching out to professionals, athletes, people, professionals in the media, taking chances on getting interviews and stuff like that, and getting approvals for them. That really was my, standout moments, because it just gave me the confirmation that it's not just a talking shit platform or a talking shit brand. Like, people have to find some type of credibility or significance in the platform. They don't have to agree with what I'm saying, but they do understand that the arguments, the debates are coming from knowledgeable, genuine people that knows the game, and not just creating a whole bunch of narratives and gossip. I've never had a rumor mill, and people have respected the platform. And then when I'm getting that same appreciation to a fault from professional athletes and stuff, that was really my moment that I was like, okay, man, I need to just continue to just keep my head down. Might not never blow up, but at least I know that I'm on a right track of not just being somebody out here making a bunch of goofy content that is just not a good look, regardless of the views. You know what I'm saying? So that's for me.
We need that 30 for 30 though, because that's like,
I gotta get back into that.
That's like, you don't understand. Like, I don't, JJ Hank, I don't know if y'all seen his, like, when he gets in that 30 for 30 bag, it's like on some like next level. Like, we need that back, Seven. We need that back, bro.
And it was so pivotal in the realm that BA and I come from, because they didn't have any type of documentary storylines. Battle rap was just straight about the bars, and then it got to certain media trying to be the stars, but there was no unique type of real content going on. So, I did find that lane, and then I kind of converted over with it to the sports. I started doing the Mitchell Report. So, niggas just figuring things out. But what about the flip side of it, fellas? What was the worst time in your career as a content creator? What was that one moment maybe that really pissed you off or made you feel like you wanted to quit? Y'all ever went through those types of vibes?
Who was it? Yeah, anybody want to go first? I definitely got one.
Since I'm the rookie on the panel, I would say, yeah, a lot. You put out a video that does real well, the next time you hear crickets, like that make you like want to quit.
The views.
Yeah.
The views. Okay.
But yeah, like even when I first started, like my first was starting by talking about the Lakers and LeBron, and like I had like one view for like 3 months. I'm like, yeah, I don't think I might not be doing this long. So, and then it didn't start picking up. But yeah, that basically, it happens. Just keep putting the content out there, and the people will find you.
Gotta keep working. What about you, JJ? Was there a bad moment in your young career as a media personality?
There's been a few. I definitely had a few like Hank, where you do all this work, take like 4 to 6 hours edit, you take all this recording, do all this research, and then it gets like 5 views. You get no comments, nothing. It's like, man, that was a waste of time. Or you're just tired and you're like, I don't want to do this right now. Or you post something and then you realize that it's not very good quality or something like that. Or you get a comment where you messed up on something and it's like, oh, crap, I can't just delete it now. But it's like, oh, that's the worst. Especially because I know too with like, or when you work really hard for a video, gets nothing. It's all about that algorithm. For every social media site, it's different every time.
It's so like, different, bro. It's crazy. It's not even so much about your content. It's about everything. It's so weird, bro. It is so weird. You right about that. What about you, BA?
Just like what these two gentlemen said, it's I still do that now. I'll put out something and it'll have like 150, 200 views. I put out another video and I have a couple thousand, 10,000 or something crazy. And I'm just like, oh yeah, we did something. And that is frustrating. And it's like, I guess people don't understand how like really, especially when you edit videos, it takes time. It takes time. Like you have to be precise. You're actually mentally like working your mind. You're like, oh my gosh, I need to take this. I need to have this fade in the right spot and put that type of workout. And only a very few people see it. Like literally, a very few people see it. Can drive you nuts. But I do want to say, for me, it's when I would drop stories. Right, I'll be the first person to drop a story in my particular field by whatever type of information that I got from leaked sources and all of that stuff, for the sources I got for what I do. And I would drop it, and then I would get a couple hundred views, but then somebody else from much bigger platform will grab it, and then they'll have 100,000 views, 131, 500,000 views, and I'm like, what?
And I'm gonna tell you how dirty the battle rap culture is. Not only will they grab it, they'll grab it from you. Yeah, they'll take your shit, spin it, and double and triple the views on it based upon who they are, their popularity. The fan base just totally overlooks that he just said the same shit verbatim BA said in his video.
They do it in the sports world too. They do it in the sports world
too. It's crazy.
Yeah, Stephen A. Smith does it all the time.
For me, and it hasn't bothered me, Hank and I, we was chopping it up about it. I don't know if y'all fellas are even aware about it, but like I'm currently being targeted right now. Like my channel, this Lakerland channel, is on the second strike right now. This channel I'm being targeted by. There's a woman by the name. I really don't even want to mention her name until I get.
Don't mention
it. It's like Baltimore. No.
Yeah. It's just nasty work. But there's a female who Shannon Sharp had some issues with prior that I had did a story on, and her and I have just had some back and forth interactions, and she has gotten a couple strikes on my channel based off of pictures of her that I've had in some of my content. Weird as hell that I could get striked for photographs that she's claiming to own from the photographer and all types of crap. So she has been really trying to get me out of here. And it's funny to me because, like I say, and BA mentioned it, it's not always about the quantity, it's the quality. You never know who's watching your content. You may not have a bunch of views on every video, but you never know who's locked in, who's searching their name on social media. I did the video on Robert Covington and from the form of LA Clipper, and him and I had some interactions and dialogue on social media, based off of him being the type of guy that just search his name on Twitter to see if anybody talking about him. Like people do that all the time.
Who was the Oscar guy you said like the Lakerland video? Somebody won an Oscar.
I forgot his name. He played in I forgot his name, but he played in, was it The Shy from Showtime. It was somebody, but we just had a celebrity. I forgot who it was. Two of them, matter of fact, because it was someone else on a media platform that was impressed with the content. So we just working, man. That's it. We just working.
So
That's all you can do.
I do want to say this for all aspiring content creators. I'm not the biggest content creator in the world. My channel is not that big, but what I will say is there would be days where I would actually create content and recap and do all of these other stuff that I do with my channel. And I would only get, like I said, 10, 15 views. But what I learned is I'm doing it because I love to do it, opposed to just doing it just so I can get views, if that makes sense.
No,
Like,
absolutely.
No matter the views, if you consistent with what you do, and you actually like I said, love what you do, and you do it actually for the love, all that other stuff comes, because now I can look, and I started off with like 20 subscribers, and it took me 2 years to get monetized to get 1,100 subscribers, and then every year after that, I've been slowly building up, and I'm almost at 20,000 subscribers.
That's a fact. Yep.
Counting. And that's just on that platform. We're not even talking about the 30-some thousand on TikTok or whatever or whatnot. But it was all consistency, and just be consistent, because it's quality. You never know who's watching you. It's not about the big masses of surfs out there. Just like, oh, let me just let it be the person that the one person that really likes you, or that's a quality type human being who has a big network, might retweet you, might share your stuff.
Yeah.
So just just be consistent and do it because you love it, not just because I need to get all of these views, because you ain't gonna get nowhere. You're gonna fall
because you can't control it. You really can't control the algorithm unless you really know what you're doing. JJ, do you have any advice to give to up and coming content creators?
Yeah, just keep on grinding. Like every day, it's a grind. Now you don't necessarily have to do it every day, but if you want to get bigger, you're most likely going to have to make content almost every day. It doesn't matter what platform is. The algorithm for every platform, if it be like TikTok or YouTube or Instagram or even Twitter/X, everything is different. So a lot of times you have to find your niche or your platform, but it's just a grind every day. And yeah, don't try to go viral right away, because you won't. It's just so weird. So it's almost like rocket science, right? You have to that's how the algorithms are almost. But
yeah, the equation got to be perfect. The equation has to be perfect and precise.
And it's like you don't go viral trying to go viral. Everybody that tries to go viral, they always fall flat. Like that. Going viral it's called viral for a reason. It's something unique. Like it's hard to really duplicate that unless you now have a platform that's just got a bunch of followers. Everything you do can potentially go viral. What about you, Hank, before we spin off? Any advice you got to give to any up and coming YouTubers or content creators, bro?
Pretty much echoing the sentiments of my fellas here. All you guys, like, just got to keep going, especially if you got to pick something that you really like and love to do, because if you don't, you're gonna want to give up. Like like I said, one view in like 3 months, you're gonna just like, I put all this time into this video and nobody, you know pretty much you didn't do anything wrong. It's just the algorithm. So just keep on working, enjoying it, have fun with it, and everything else will come. But yeah, and then of course having the fellowship of you guys inspire me watching your guys' content. Like, okay,
likewise.
Yeah, likewise, man.
How do you be a last question? Because we talk about views, and I would anticipate that that's an issue with all up and coming content creators. It's always the view count. It's always that, not that we feel entitled, but like, let's just be real. When you see certain videos or certain platforms with all these views or subscribers or what have you, it just goes to show how many people are in the sports community watching this type of content. So it's just like, hey, I don't even care that you agree or disagree with my take, but why is it that the video is not being seen? Like YouTube is like hiding my content. Like, it's not even about the people disagreeing with your take. We are fighting for the video to even get seen. That's always been a big thing.
Yeah.
So
Then I'm gonna be like
that.
Poetic Justice. Our videos, we be like, I know I look good as that dude.
Yeah. I know I look better than him.
That's a fact. D Money in the building. What's up, gang?
And man, you right. You never know who's watching you. Like I am from the mountains. You up here just flying. You know what I'm saying?
I know. Are you in the Milwaukee Mountains though? Help me honest and Dame.
Yo,
my wings.
yeah. I jumped out there. You know what I'm saying? It's BA fault. It's BA fault. It's fine though. You know what I'm saying?
They've been blaming each other all month. BA blaming him on the Discord, and he on the stream. Y'all blaming BA.
JJ know about the bet.
I should have known. Bro. I should have known.
JJ, just to get you caught up, we were in the Discord when the Damian Lillard trade got announced in Milwaukee, and we were conversating, and I had a bet that Milwaukee would not be that great with Giannis in compared to their record last year. We had BA went with 55 games, right? Initially,
yeah.
Yeah.
D Money doubled down and said, "No, we can get 58." So the bet was
58.
I want my wing stop, but they didn't even get to 55, did they?
They ain't got 50.
No, they
got 49 wins.
49
nah,
wins,
they hired once they hired Doc, bro. I said, nah,
That's another thing, JJ. The Doc Rivers thing didn't happen, so no one would have anticipated that. So I know they wouldn't have bet that, knowing that
Doc Rivers took over. They went on a quick loser streak. I was like, come on, man.
Did you think? But they were on pace all the way till what was that? Was that this not December, January? January it got nasty. It just got nasty.
Yeah,
Doc Rivers is still under 500.
So before we get up out of here,
they may show up till like till All Stars. I was like, well, this day earlier before the All Star game.
That's
like,
true.
Where did you go?
It is what
Man, don't even
like I'm bored.
What you think about my Lakers, D Money? Before we get up out of here, I definitely need your thoughts. We got one game left before the season is over. What you think about LeBron and the Lakers?
I mean, y'all cool down there where y'all at. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying?
We ain't moving on up.
Some of us is battling for number one over here. You know what I mean?
Woo.
So okay,
the Denvers, the OKC.
Yeah,
you're OKC fan now. All of a sudden, you're OKC fan now.
I don't know what it looked like down there where y'all at. You know what I'm saying? You know,
you an OKC fan out of the blue, like out of the
nah. So I was a Seattle Supersonics fan. I grew up. Gary Payton, Delish Rumph, Sean Kemp, Ricky Pierce, all those guys. When they moved, I ain't really had no choice. Like it was what it was. Like you know what I'm saying? Like I wouldn't have had
KD is your guy.
Shout out
6. You said what?
KD is your guy then, right?
Yeah.
Oh, he has to debate Cole. We got to get a one-on-one debate. It's only right.
Yeah.
It's only right because Cole disrespects KD to the maximum on the
hater. He's a hater.
Why?
He has to explain himself. I mean, but
KD disrespect in the chat. Put it in the chat, Cole.
I mean, that's crazy. It's crazy though, because every time somebody get in front of him, they can't stop him. It took him how long before he got to that Boston series?
I tried to tell Cole.
They finally got to where he looked human.
Cole is one of those guys.
It took years for him to look human.
Even though he can't win, even though he can't win anything without Steph Curry.
I mean, it sounds good, but he still had to see. He had to see the final boss, right?
It's the truth.
He still had to see the final boss. What happened?
The final boss. The final boss.
That's what happened, right?
The final boss won a ring without him again.
You're right.
Hey man, that's all. Hey, listen, bro. I can only tell you what happened.
Yeah.
Hey,
y'all tell me how good LeBron is defensively, and KD getting his face look different. That's all I'm saying.
All right.
We agree. We agree with that. We agree.
Just saying. But yeah, man. I mean, y'all looking good down there. We focus on getting this number one. You know what I'm saying? We got to get some experience on our belt.
True. That's
my main thing that I'm concerned with OKC is, it get different when the lights is on. So We'll see how it go.
But I will say this about OKC. They don't seem like a Cinderella team. I don't think that they're ready right now, but you can tell that the experience of them being in this scenario is only going to help them going into next year. I don't feel like they are just going to fall off and not be competitive, even if they do lose this season. All right, fellas, that is a wrap. Episode 7 of Lakerland is in the books. JJ, I appreciate you so much, fam, for joining us this afternoon. Once again, let the people know before we get up out of here, JJ, where they can follow you at on social media, bro.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, Seven. Again, you can check me out on Sportstown or Sportstown Network. I'm on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all that. Also have a website, sportstownnetwork.com. You can check out my blog. I haven't updated my blog in a while, but I have merchandise there as well. Hoping to get that blog back up. But yeah, just check out those channels. And again, my website, again, sportstownnetwork.com.
Alrighty, man. Shout out to my brother JJ Peters. Make sure y'all go support and follow my brother. He put that content in all day, every day. All talks about sports. He do not play that game. He's definitely got me motivated to do my thing. Shout out to all my brothers, D Money, Cole. Shout out to BA and Hank as always, man. This is the Lakerland Show. Do remember, just another brief reminder, join us tomorrow in our playback room for the Lakers New Orleans Pelicans game, final game of the season. Free VIP access to our watch parties. We got to hopefully check and see the Lakers get a W tomorrow versus New Orleans. A lot of games of importance tomorrow. So we're definitely going to be locked in. Y'all stay safe this Saturday. I'm Seven Mitchell. Smash this like button. Subscribe to our channel. And we are out. Peace, fellas. Y'all stay safe.
You too.
All right, now. Salute. For the latest and greatest on your Los Angeles Lakers, make sure you subscribe to the channel. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers, and we appreciate the support. Follow us on social media at Lakerland Show and join our playback TV room for our free VIP access to our Lakers watch parties and, of course, the Lakerland podcast. That's playback.tv/Lakerland.